It's a nice day for a delivery. Gonna get the tractor out right now for the forks. So our Rimol polycarb walls are coming. The truck made it fine with the new beds in place. So the crate was bunged up, but looks like the poly and the crate are fine. These need to be stored inside, but we're gonna put them out for a little bit first. And the goal is to slide them out here onto the forks, onto the ribbing, and then put them here while we rearrange the garage. And of course it's pouring, so always fun. But our 3046R John Deere should be fine. I think they're weigh 250 or 300 pounds for all these panels, and some of them are up to 16 feet long. So we'll continue to show the process, but I know we looked up a lot of videos on how it showed up and everything, and we didn't see much. It just makes it more fun that it's pouring. Jay's gonna screw in these beams from the sawmill into our pallet here we got on the forks, just for extra security, so that they're not moving around. But what a gorgeous day. We also have my dad here helping for extra lifting. So it's a busy weekend. We got the 3 freight deliveries. We got the fill and gravel delivered this past week, and we're going to start doing some site work here. Did get a 3-point laser that Jay's going to be setting up. Rough estimate is about a 3-foot angle, so we do need to fix this back corner. One of the freight trucks did make a bad turn, unfortunately. So, but the good news is we have an extra panel, so we'll be able to just switch this panel out. So that's not the end of the world. This bed is fully planted with radishes already, so I don't want it to be too messy here. We've got a bunch of stuff going on. You can see it's going to be a really busy weekend. My dad's here. He's got his buggy up and out. The guys are moving some material to get the before we start doing some prep work. We're moving. My dad's moving the ranunculus out into the cut flower area, and I will probably tent those with the Ag 15 cloth once he has all of those out there, and eventually we'll be running irrigation for that. In here in the tunnel, it's only, I don't know, 52 degrees or so, so I will keep the door closed most of the time. But I did get the onions, which I wanted to share with you guys. So this is what buying onion plants looks like from Johnny Seeds. This is, I think, 1,500. At that point, like, it's about 8 cents per plant, and so you just stick these in the ground, and they are ready to, and like off to the races to go. They come back very, very quickly. It's Red Wing and Patterson. Ranunculus in here, I do need to fertilize, so I've got the fertilizer ready to go, so we'll talk through that today. And also we got these new grow bags with the cocoa core from Fiber Dust. So I do want to share those and what we're doing with that. Sorry for spinning around again. The other thing is that the tomatoes now have been under the frost cloth for a couple days. It's been really cloudy. It's going to be cloudy again today and the next couple days. And they've been under the table, although they do get early sun and late sun under the table. I will be actually planting some of these out into the grow bags today, hopefully, if everything goes well. I'm a little concerned. My first impression of Fiber Dust is a little nervous because this is what the 3-gallon bags came like, and fully open on top, but to me that looks more like a 2-gallon bag than a 3-gallon bag. So from a root structure space, I'm gonna have to be very picky on what I actually use this size for, so not so excited about that. The bricks inside should expand all the way up to the top of the bag, or just below the top of the bag. There will be a good amount of root space, but not as much as I wanted for some of the peppers. Like, I wouldn't put a poblano in a bag that small. I think these will be fine. These will expand up quite a bit, and they do have some drainage holes here and here on the bottom. And so what I believe I'm supposed to do, of course, I couldn't find any actual and real instructions. So if you have instructions, please send them my way. My thought process is, and what I kind of saw online, was that people that would then set these up here and cut here where you're going to plant only, and then water it a bunch of times to get it rehydrated. It'll expand like one of those growing sponges, and then I'll be able to plant. So I'm testing with this one first, but I have quite a few of these. This is what we're going to plant our tomatoes in the new tunnel, so we'll see how that all comes to be. So more to come on the Fiber Dust grow bags. With a wholesale account, these were like $3.30 a piece, maybe a little more plus shipping, which we ordered quite a bit, so it was like a $45 shipping for $1,000 worth of stuff. in wholesale, so a lot cheaper. Jay kept those feet, the plow feet on the tractor, and they've been working really well for doing some of this mulch removal. So if you guys remember, this whole place was weeds, some pavement scrap, fill, gravel. There's like brush and prickers and all sorts of stuff. And so we cleaned all of that up, including huge boulders, which used to be on the outside of the garden. And so this is going to be quite a bit of a change again, because we built up a lot of the ground with gravel and mulch and all sorts of different things. And now we have to remove a lot of that. But if you look, it's actually become pretty good compost. It's mulched in really nicely. We kind of composted in. And it's wet, but it's still actually pretty good. There's tons of life in here. Just a quick little look. So yeah, we'll definitely be saving this stuff and reusing it in different areas and for different purposes. The garlic is coming up really good, but you'll notice there's a lot of water on this garden still. So I was going to try to fertilize the garlic, but I may end up waiting another little bit, since there's some probably really thick mud there, and we still can't plant in that back area, which really is a bummer. So I may get a tarp to cover it so it doesn't grow a lot of weeds, since I can't get in there. This is the 3 main rows that we're going to be planting onions this year. This will all have irrigation, this whole bed eventually. So these are actually fine. They're built up, they're no-till. If I can, I'll add some more compost on top, as well as maybe some bone meal, and try to get those onions planted again. The rhubarb is doing fantastic. That's the one from my mom. Looks good, Dad.
Yep, there's, I don't know, half dozen more.
Yeah. These are all the ranunculus. We may try to set these beds. These beds are going to go along the outside here with this one, but we have to fix the site work here as well. So I better get to work. We got a lot of things going on. I'll try to show you guys more footage about the freight that came for the Rimol greenhouse, and the positives and the things that we did that worked well for unloading, and the things that didn't go well that you should watch for or be prepared for. Of course, it started raining again now. It's supposed to just be quick. So we'll see how it goes. But he's got to lift this side of the bank up about 3 feet. Well, it's probably about maybe like 2 feet, and then dig out a foot or so over here. So how does this thing work?
How does the laser?
Yeah, so the
That
laser,
sends
so
out a signal.
right in the,
And the
this,
receiver-
it comes into here.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you hold the stick there, if you raise the receiver up or down, as soon as it starts beeping,
That's when you hit
that's
level.
what you're shooting for.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
so-
and consistent across the whole ground.
Exactly.
So right now, if you look,
Yeah,
okay, we're high,
yeah.
we're low. We're high,
So it's right.
we're low.
So okay, so the ground, we got to build this back up some.
Right.
Okay, but then back there,
Back here is really low.
and we kind of come up onto this section here. That's high.
Oh, that's what
Oh, there. Oh, right. Wow.
yeah. That's
So
what
you
I'm
can
saying.
see, Erica, this whole section
Right.
is-
Slopes. It slopes quite a bit down.
A lot
especially
more than you would.
from here.
Right.
From where I am, it goes downhill big time. But it's to be expected. I mean, I
But
think
if you,
when Everett did this, filled this in with fill,
right.
he didn't expect to have a 50-foot greenhouse.
No. But so, Jace, if you go back on the front where you just dug it out and it was dug too much,
Right.
adjust your lever.
Well, I can't because of these beds. I set this as low as you could possibly go.
Yeah, but you have 5 or 6 feet between the greenhouse and that spot.
So that's on the ground right now.
Right. Right. But there can be a decent slope over to there. Like, because you're not even on the ground there, right?
Right.
So my thought though is if we could go lower up here and we do another board up here, just like we were gonna do over there, like a log, to make a step down, that would work, right? Because so if you move this back down to here,
I mean, I don't think we can go this low
right?
because the driveway is pretty important. So
Yeah, but Jason, the plus is if you did drop this down and
It pulls it away from
feather
the
this with it, it draws the water away from your garage,
right.
which you guys may want.
yeah.
I mean, there's still a big hump all the way back here.
Right, but yeah.
So that's why I was trying to dig this out because this hump is pretty big.
Of course, some of this area, obviously where the Norwood is, didn't we build that up? Didn't you bring in some stone?
Yeah.
There's always been a huge hump right in the middle here.
Right, and then we have water, big, huge puddles that ended up. So digging this hump out is actually a good thing, right?
Just have a little area here you could drop down if you wanted.
Yeah.
This is still humped.
So if we drop this down, right, then you could try resetting your level with it, not where Dad's standing, but right in front of where he's standing, where it's up a little bit, and reset your ruler that you're holding to the ground level there.
You're in the ballpark.
Right on the money right here.
Right. But that's your first point. I'm saying readjust for your first point. So if you came over here and you readjusted and then went to the back, I don't think you're going to be as far off, right?
It's still gonna be a foot.
But it's going to close the gap quite a bit.
You must be what? 6 to 12 inches higher than the first row of beds
Yeah, you're still high there.
where you are now.
Yeah. It's right on the freaking mark.
high. There you go.
That's doable there.
What, 6-8 inches? Now go to the back.
That doesn't drop off. Wow, it does where he's going, but
Right.
the last bed, it's
Right, up here it's fine, and then it drops.
right. Exactly.
I think it's more than you think. I checked it.
Like right here.
Perception is, it's still angled.
So what is that, over a foot?
Yeah.
Pretty gradual.
So come back up here to your where you were working. Oh gosh.
Yeah, substantial. You guys, you'll need a
3-4 loads more.
a load or two more.
Yeah.
It's going to be a problem.
I was thinking this was the most level spot we had.
Yeah, well,
I mean, that place over there would have been really bad too.
that would have been bad, but I don't think it's this bad. Yeah.
No, it would have been worse.
Worse because it's angled in both directions.
Yeah.
I mean, the alternative is level this area here and run your wall, a tier wall,
Yeah.
right there, say a foot high,
Yeah.
and that'll cut way back on the amount more fill you need. But then again, you'd have to get some 6x6s to
Well,
build.
I don't want to do that because we want to be able to drive the tractor.
We can build a ramp. That's not the board.
Yes, that's true.
That's not like that's
Yeah,
easy
I mean-
workaround.
It's up to you. I mean, the easiest thing to do is spend money and get a load or two more, build this up, and I mean, it's easy for me to spend your money.
Always has been.
No, I know, but you know, I'm just trying.
Yeah.
You know, either drop that down a hair,
Or do a combination, but
right, do a combination.
keep dropping that and keep raising this.
But and if you did take some out of here, you only have to do it from this corner to about here. You don't have to. You only need a short, like a 24-foot 6x6 wall here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have any. You probably don't have any 6x6s, but you probably have rebar.
Yeah. Would you have to be pressure treated?
Yeah, anything else would be a waste.
Yeah.
Those pressure treated.
I was thinking we could just mill.
Because we can mill something and we can always remill when we need to.
Right. I mean, that's.
If
probably
you
what
had
I would
some white
prefer.
oak or locust,
We got red oak.
no, red oak.
We have red oak and we have ash.
Red oak goes
Ash.
That's
Yeah, we've got ash.
So we don't really
Actually, ash is what you guys gave me for
The steps.
trail work.
Yeah.
I think honestly we should just keep going with what we're doing and just.
Alright, I got the hose. Let's see how this works. It's pouring out the end here. Guess I'll let it sit for a little bit and see. It's already expanded quite a bit. Alright, so here you can see maybe been 10 minutes. This is the size of the unwatered, unopened fiber dust tube. And then here is the one where I just cut the 3 holes in the top and sprayed water into each of them. And you can see the spots should be pretty easy to plant into. Still a little room, so I'm not sure if I'm supposed to add more water, so I might keep adding a little bit and waiting, but pretty close to full at this point from the expansion. It's like like one of those little mini sponges that expanded, so we'll see. And I'll be planting tomato plants in these today. All right, so we haven't finished extending this raised bed yet, but it is actually at a point where we can plant our potatoes. Mid-April here in Zone 5B, North Central Mass, with a last average frost date of mid-May. We are now at the time to plant. So seed potatoes are actually just potatoes that have eyes. So sometimes you'll see the price go up for seed potatoes, but there's really no different than like your storage potatoes that have started to grow by the springtime. So that's what we use. Our storage potatoes that have done started to grow. My mom had extra, so she sent some down with my dad. But some people will cut them in half and then plant them. Some people will cut them in half, then let them dry out first. I don't bother. Usually I have more than enough. You can see here I'm rough kind of spacing. I think I'm going to plant them in a little bit towards the center, but they should have plenty of space to grow, and I will be fertilizing, so they'll get the nutrients that they need. I like to use the hori hori for planting. The nice thing about this type of tool is it does have inches deep, so if you're going to plant something 2 inches, you can see when you hit to that 2-inch mark there, somewhere here. So there, this is 6-inch, so if I know I want to plant my potatoes at least 6 inches deep, I have to go down that far. So a lot of times I will put the knife in all the way down, pull it back this way, and then drop the potato in. Ideally with the eyes kind of facing up. If there are eyes on both sides, you can put it flat, and then I cover it over. And that's all there is really to planting potatoes. So since the bed was already prepped, that took less than maybe 3 minutes to plant the 17 potatoes. Again, benefit of being in the tall Birdie's 30-inch bed. I don't have to bend over very much. A couple things that I should add. Some people will actually do the Ruth Stout method of just, if you're planting on the ground, put the potatoes and put a hay bale over top. I've seen that work really great if you want a kind of a lazier, easier way to do it. You also can hill the potatoes as they grow up, and you'll see that there is some space here, so we may do that. So as the greens keep coming up, you just keep on adding a little more soil around them, or moving the soil in to the plant. That will help them grow more potatoes. When you're pushing the seed potato down into the ground in the hole, another thing to be careful of is not to push so hard that you knock all the eyes off. So you want to dig your hole nice, kind of make sure that the soil is kind of a sandy soil for potatoes, and has some room for the roots to grow. They're pretty strong plants, so and then from there, put your potato in and then cover it over. Don't just jam it into the hole. That's really all there is. I just finished planting peas on both sides. I did Sugar Daddy, which was the peas from Botanical, and then Johnny Seeds. I did a new one. I'll have to check the label because I forgot the name for this side. So we'll be able to tell the different types. I'm not doing a whole bunch of types like I normally do, so I can actually know which ones we prefer. But I did do the entire tunnel, which is about 16 feet worth of cattle panel. So maybe 17 feet. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, potatoes done, peas done, and the guys are installing some more of the lower beds that got moved over on the other side. So I'll have more planting space for radishes for now, and lettuces for now. I do still have these radishes that were planted about a month ago in the really cold. I was seeing if I could put the seed out early and how they do. They seem to be doing pretty well right now. I have a lot of these maple trees coming up. So they're really easy to pick out. So I've got, a decent amount of early radishes here, and then that whole 12-foot bed is planted already from last week, seeded, and then we'll probably seed this whole bed here tomorrow with radishes also. Trying to do succession planting. Over here, I left this kind of uncovered. I seeded carrots. They're pelleted. So I wanted to show you guys how I kind of do this. So I kind of rough up the soil, drop the pellets in, make sure that because they're nice and pelleted, they're white and they're really easy to see. So you kind of make sure that they're not too close together. That will save you from having to waste some of the seed later. It's one of the benefits of doing pelleted. Then I pat it down with my hand, as you can tell. And then now I'll come over and put a very light dusting of soil on top, and then pat that down and water it in really good. The soil's pretty moist from the 2 inches of rain yesterday, but because we are in those 30-inch raised beds, it did drain. So it's not soaking wet on the top, which is one of the huge benefits of growing in the beds, is that you can control that water a lot better than the field. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to get that covered up. Potatoes are planted, peas are planted. I need to plant some more lettuce. So I might actually plant some of the lettuce on the front right here. And then this whole bed will be planted for now until we need to add the beans, which will be about 3-4 weeks or so before I plant the beans. Maybe a little longer. I might, depending on the peas, I might wait a little longer just to give them a little bit more of a shot, since beans are such a strong plant. But the nice thing about the beans is they'll just grow straight up and then really start bushing out once they hit this arch part, whereas the peas will really grow. Well, one year I had them grow that tall, but most of the time they're already flowering when they're at this height, so we should be good. And I will continue to update you guys on how we're doing. So looked up the seed packet that I just planted for the peas on that back side, and it is a honey snap from Johnny's. Honey Snaps 2, I think. So I'm going to plant over here on this west side of the tunnel. I'm going to plant the pelleted Crispino iceberg. I've got a butterhead also here. A Paris Island romaine, which is our typical romaine that we grow pretty much year round. And then the Bloomsdale Savoyed spinach. Last year I did a combination of savoyed and savoyed. I still like the savoyed a little bit better. So we're going to plant that all the way in here. And I'm going to plant the lettuce pretty thickly because we'll transplant it into the better spacing once they come up. And so that is the plan here. Before I forget, also over here with the two early radishes, I also planted some early kale, and you'll see that is now actually really coming up. So that will be a nice little big spot there. And then the onions that we saved are there. And then we have some onions on the back side of that one. I need to cut out all the zinnia stumps from last year. And over here, there's actually, some of the new spinach is actually healthy. So what I need to do is come in with a knife and pick off, kind of cut these down, and then they'll come right back up. They'll grow a little bit faster with that. I might even throw a little bit of fertilizer on them to really kickstart them, because it'll probably be about 2-3 weeks before, maybe 2 weeks, if I cut them down before I'd be able to eat them again, and cut them. So that's the deal. You can see the frost really got some of these as expected. This is all the spinach that I planted in the fall last year. So I also need to weed this bed, so that's on the list. So there's butterhead, which is just the normal seeds, and you can see they're kind of small, and I just sprinkle them, and then I'll transplant if I need to here. And then we get to Paris Island, and you can see I put a ton in there because I will transplant those out. I found planting like this makes it so much easier to, even if I want to put them into pots or anything like that. And then I have pellets for the butter crunch. So I actually did do some spacing on that, just some light, about 5-inch spacing. They're usually pretty tight there. And then this is the spinach seed here. You can see it's pretty speckled, right? Because I'll do pretty close cuttings, and I'll just take a knife and slice. So I want them actually pretty close together. And then there's peas on the back. So I will cover all of these over and move on to the next item on the list.